Violent attacks on Asian Americans are on the rise in America. Since the beginning of the pandemic, a record number of hate crimes have been recorded against Asian people living in the U.S.
San Jose police stop a potential mass shooter. After getting a tip from Santa Cruz police that a man was making threats on Snapchat about shooting up a popular mall in the South Bay.
Thank God for San Jose PD doing their job.
A group of people fight the quarantine blues by working out together virtually. A workout composed of dancing.
Update News starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Mickey Adams.
And I'm Darwin Seki Lyon. San Jose State is responding to violent attacks on Asians in the Bay Area. The campus community received an email from the university's chief diversity officer. Rachel Tate is live with more information. Rachel?
Darwin, the attacks have been vicious and deadly, and now the university is fighting back. As COVID tensions heighten and the Lunar New Year continues, there has been an alarming rise in hate crimes against the Asian American community. SJSU freshman Stephen Nguyen has been actively posting on the school's community page to bring awareness about the attacks. In this attack in Oakland, California, a 91-year-old man was violently pushed to the ground by another pedestrian.
And I'm just really shocked because I feel like Asian Americans aren't the cause or the element of the coronavirus.
Nguyen says he has even witnessed vandalism on an Asian-owned business, a popular cinnamon roll cafe near SJSU.
A lot of people were throwing rocks and bricks over windows and breaking windows, and they were damaging the coffee.
Nguyen says to move forward, it is important to educate people about the virus and its origin.
They should take a look at a documentary about Coronavirus Explained on Netflix if they want to learn more what the background is and truly is the background.
Santa Cruz resident Joey Miranda says the Asian community has always been targeted, but we're seeing more of these blatant attacks because of social media and access to Instagram.
I honestly think in 2020 we learned that white supremacy is still a thing. Racism is very alive.
Miranda moved to the United States from the Philippines when he was 2 years old. When he was in kindergarten, his teacher made him go to a speech class to get rid of his accent.
And I would sit there with literally a book that had the letter A written 100 times, and I would have to go, ah.
Miranda says because Santa Cruz is a very liberal town, he feels like he is less at risk for hate crimes, but he does worry about his elderly mother.
Normal everyday things that my mom does, like going to the bank and withdrawing cash, I'm telling her to be careful because she's 63 now.
SJSU Chief Diversity Officer Kathleen Long sent out a letter to SJSU students and faculty on February 15th expressing her concerns. She states in the letter, I must express my concern and alarm at the recent sharp rise in incidents of violence, hate, and targeting of Asian Americans in this country.
I was concerned because there are members of our campus community that were worried about it and feeling like, is SJSU aware?
Despite attacks mainly targeting the elderly community, Wong wanted to make sure students felt supported and heard.
Makes a big difference to raise awareness, I think, about how a lot of times we don't have space or room to share and talk about these issues.
Wong says she believes there are many more cases that have not been reported. She encourages the SJSU community to speak up and raise awareness about systematic racism.
Younger people may feel like, we should bring it up, we should report it, and then some of the older generation, I'm not trying to stereotype, but some of the older generation, particularly if they're immigrant, may decide that this is not what they want to do.
Seeing this violence and racism in our community is very disappointing and it needs to be stopped. Reporting live, Rachel Tate.
One of the most popular shopping spots for SJSU students and South Bay residents is Valley Fair Mall. But earlier this month, there was a serious scare. Police say they stopped a man inside the mall before he could carry out a mass shooting. Veronica Vinluan has more on the story.
The suspect is 21-year-old Hunter Title from Seaside, California. An anonymous tip was sent to Santa Cruz police that Title was making threats on Snapchat about wanting to shoot up a mall. According to the police report, one of the postings said, "I swear I'm literally seconds from snapping and going on a mass homicide." Ashley Keene is Public Information Officer at Santa Cruz Police Department.
Detectives got on it immediately and started trying to figure out who this person was, where they were, and if this plan was serious or not.
With help from the Santa Cruz and Santa Clara police as well as mall security, San Jose police tracked the suspect inside Valley Fair. Police say it was just 45 minutes after the tip came in that they stopped Title carrying a fully loaded semi-automatic gun. They found his car in the parking lot.
Police officers used a robot with cameras to help search the suspect's car before bomb technicians were able to inspect with caution.
Later on during the investigation, his vehicle was searched, and inside that vehicle there was an assault rifle located in the car that was also loaded, as well as ammunition.
Timothy Manigan works at one of the stores in the mall. He says a situation like this is a reminder that people should be more aware of their surroundings.
Any given second, any day, we need to be prepared as a team and a unit and as a community of this mall to be on the lookout.
Tawny Rollerson works at Form Life, one of the mall kiosks. She says she's glad an arrest was made before anything tragic could happen.
Thank God for San Jose PD doing their job, and Santa Cruz PD for letting them know the situation.
Back at the Santa Cruz Police Department, Ashley Keene says the people who came forward with the vital information about Title's plans helped save lives.
A lot of cases stem from us receiving reports from individuals out in the community. They are our eyes and ears in cases like this.
Title is in the Santa Clara County Main Jail, charged with 4 felony gun crimes. He was also initially booked on making the shooting threats, but prosecutors say the postings on Snapchat were not specific enough to stick. In San Jose, Veronica Vinluan, Update News.
The coronavirus pandemic is putting many programs on hold, but some have been able to adapt instead. The Salvation Army is finding ways to support its community. The Emmanuel House has been helping the less fortunate for more than a century, regardless of the coronavirus. The coronavirus has made it unsafe for the traditional sit-down community meals here at the Emmanuel House. But volunteers are still giving out food. Their new drive-through grab-and-go system gets people their food quickly and safely.
We had to just get creative and find alternative ways to still provide the service, but kind of also adapt to the restrictions.
Before the pandemic, the Salvation Army-run center was also providing social and food programs for seniors. But these needed to be cut back extensively, with social gatherings being replaced by phone calls. While they can't encourage seniors to get out and socialize, they do still try their best to remind them that they're not alone.
And those that are staying home, we're checking in and we're doing phone calls and seeing how they're doing.
The demand for this assistance has gone up since the pandemic and economic downturn hit us around this time last year.
The number of people served per day has gone up by 100 on average.
The need is there, and I'm just glad that the people who donate and help us provide the services that we provide in our community allows us to really impact so many lives on a daily basis.
That need won't be going away anytime soon, but neither will the Salvation Army. And you might be wondering how people can pick up food who don't have cars. They can just walk up to the attendant, grab, and go.
Outdoor dining in California is once again being offered, giving patrons some relief from being cooped up indoors. Restaurants are welcoming diners with open arms, ready to serve the public. Months full of social distancing and limited access to establishments have people craving past normalcy. Many are willing to endure the cold and light rain and try to enjoy a meal outside their own homes. In an effort to make customers comfortable, many restaurants have acquired outdoor heaters and tents to compensate for any unruly weather.
I think it's pretty exciting just to be back out again. Being trapped at home can be difficult at times, so it's kind of nice to get some fresh air.
There is no guarantee that outdoor dining will stay for good. And when we come back, we'll have more news for you.
Including what's happening at the Hammer Theater. A look at how the Hammer Theater has shifted the way they entertain people. Brutal winter storms ravage the South. The lockdown is seeing an increase in virtual fitness classes. These classes help people connect and interact while staying healthy indoors. Cherie Marwaha is live in Cupertino with the story. Cherie?
Nikki, according to MindBody Data, a technology platform that connects the world to wellness, there is a huge jump in consumers accessing viral content since the pandemic hit in March 2020.
These people are doing body X dancing, part of a growing trend to exercise online. According to data, 85% of people are using live stream classes weekly versus just 7% in 2019.
Everybody, let's get going.
Priyanka Bopit is one of the fitness instructors who seamlessly segued from in-person to online classes.
We're happy, we're dancing, we're getting physically fit. Emotionally, the sadness and not seeing friends all goes away.
The fun and energetic class provides respite throughout the pandemic.
There are a few people who haven't stepped out of their houses in about almost a year. And the only way they see me or I see them is via the Zoom classes.
Priyanka, all your new songs are really good.
Virtual classes are a way for people to connect with others under the lockdown.
She's always been very vibrant and spreading happiness to everybody.
Under the pandemic. Live in Cupertino, Cherie Marwaha Update News. Virtual classes are providing joy to many people under the pandemic. Live in Cupertino, Cherie Marwaha Update News.
In San Jose, the Hammer Theater has made necessary changes to survive the COVID pandemic. The theater's live streaming plays performed on its stage. In times of crisis, the state of theater must acclimate to a new climate. The Hammer Theater has provided a center for the arts in San Jose for the last 24 years. Theater personnel have decided to take a modern approach to the delivery of content.
Right, so it wouldn't be that foreign. Live stream is completely a modern day apparatus, but it could cross all generations.
Christine Gazetta has been mentoring as a producer for the video marketing department of the Hammer since fall 2019. But now, she directs the live streams hosted by the theater. This time last year, the Hammer Theater had 13 events slated for the month of February, but this year, only one.
9, 8, 7, 5.
But even with the stopgap in place, purveyors of the arts say that there is no alternative to in-person theater.
Disney released Hamilton, which was huge, and it was really cool because I got to see it for the first time, but it also, there was this slight twinge of sadness because it was different.
Mackenzie's year on stage was cut short due to shelter-in-place restrictions enforced midway through the 2020 spring semester, but she continues to be hopeful that the future of theater will persist through adversity.
Turning to the weather, last week was rough for the southern states as a second winter storm brought even more ice and snow, and made its way into the northeast states. As of right now, about 1/3 of the country is blanketed in snow. Let's take a look at Nashville, where people have been advised to stay off the roads. Authorities say if you must leave your house, make sure you have a flashlight, water, and an extra blanket with you. As we approach the weekend, temperatures are expected to rise and hopefully be able to start thawing out some of the southern states.
And of course, here in California, we have an easy time of it compared to the South.
Joshua Gilman is here with the forecast. Joshua?
Much of the country, especially the South, is recovering from a brutal winter storm last week, with parts of Texas experiencing never-before-seen temperatures in the single digits. But over in the Bay Area, they are seeing nothing but clear skies all weekend and mild conditions into next week. In fact, this winter season, California is experiencing the opposite of El Nino, the La Nina phenomenon. This means that California will be receiving abnormally drier and warmer weather than usual. Now, I'm currently in Southern California, and here a beach day in mid-February looks almost as if winter is non-existent. With California constantly battling the drought, rain this season remains low.
I mean, personally, I enjoy it, but I know that it's not good for our land. We can get a lot more fires, and it's just not good. We need water.
So, what can you expect in weather the next few days in the Bay Area? It's going to be clear and sunny, and it's going to be a bit windy on Saturday with winds at about 20 to 25 miles per hour, but not enough to issue a wind advisory. Now, for the 5-day forecast, starting in Santa Cruz, the high temperatures are going to be in the low 60s and mid 50s, basically hovering right at 60 degrees through next week. And low temperatures are going to be a bit chilly, mainly in the mid 40s. In San Francisco, the high temperatures are going to be in the low 60s, very similar to Santa Cruz, and low temperatures are going to be very consistent, purely in the mid 40s range. And in Oakland, they're going to be seeing high temperatures mainly in the mid 60s with little variation, and the low temperatures are going to be at the mid 40s, just as Santa Cruz and San Francisco. Finally, in San Jose, the high temperatures are going to be consistent throughout next week in the mid 60s, and low temperatures are going to be a little chilly as well, mainly in the lower 40s, with the chilliest night being on Sunday at about 41 degrees. That's all I have for you now, and for the meantime, enjoy the crisp and mild winter conditions.
And when we come back, we'll have Ivan Garcia with sports. Spring sports get the go-ahead at SJSU. Athletes are getting ready. The San Jose Sharks don a new jersey in honor of Black History Month.
At San Jose State University,
we discover who we want to be. For ourselves,
for our families,
for our communities.
Different and unexpected.
Begin here.
At the heart of a transforming valley, in a city that is tough and beautiful.
We are Spartans.
What powers us changes our world.
Now we have Ivan Garcia here for sports. Ivan, how about those sports reopening up, huh?
Yeah, after some months of cancellation, it's good to have them back. San Jose State has a green light to resume sports-related activities, but with some restrictions still in place, coaches will have to find new ways to connect with their athletes. Most SJSU athletic teams are finally able to get out and play after months of postponement and cancellation. Spring sports are back for SJSU for the first time since March 12th of last year. Spartan football coach Brett Brennan says the team faced many challenges last fall.
None of us have ever been through this before, right? So we're all kind of doing the best we can, and especially for the players. What they went through this fall feels nothing like college.
Various sporting events are still getting postponed, including baseball, which has been postponed until March 27th due to COVID protocols.
yeah, we didn't really have that many sports coming back in the fall. And now it's kind of interesting that we see a ton of sports coming back. Are they getting home games? Are they traveling a lot? I know football had to go to Humboldt just to practice.
Though challenges are being faced, Coach Brennan says it meant a lot to the team to play during these unusual times.
Football was this amazing, magical bonding moment of just doing that together and finding ways to navigate the challenges the world was presenting these young men together.
The same COVID protocols will have to be followed throughout the season, which include safe physical distancing, wearing a mask during workouts, and COVID testing 3 times a week. Fans will not be able to attend the sporting events for the 2021 spring semester, but can purchase a cardboard cutout and have them at the game in their presence at select sporting events. Go to giving.sjsu to find out more. The San Jose Sharks are back at home this month for the first time this season. Coronavirus restrictions had kept them on the road. The team wore Black History Month themed jerseys during their pregame warm-up as they were set to face the Anaheim Ducks on February 15th. The design was done by Sharks employee Mohammed Fofana. He sent a message to the organization about the events that took place last year with the Black Lives Matter movement and talked about how uplifting his art was. Fofana first designed the Sharks Juneteenth shirts that were released in 2020 and had asked to make a Black History Month themed jersey.
Pan-African colors, the red, black, and green, to kind of connect all people from African descent, all over the world.
Between the Juneteenth and Black History Month designed apparel, the Sharks raised more than $40,000 for the African American Community Service Agency. And that's all I have for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ivan, for reporting. And now, a look on the week ahead. Celebrate Black History Month by joining the All-African People's Revolution Party in celebration of art, film, and more, covering a variety of contemporary issues with discussions to follow. These are just a couple things to keep you busy and keep you thinking. Every Wednesday and Thursday at the Cathedral of Faith in San Jose, reaching out is helping out with groceries for those in need. If you're in need or willing to help, you can come by either at the San Jose location or at others including Gilroy, Morgan Hill, and Milpitas. For more information, visit the website at reachingout.us. And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thank you for joining us, and see you next week.